when I was done with the makeup, like when she turned around, she just started bawling. Of course, I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, oh my God, she's crying. Like, oh my God. You know, the tears of happiness, I think, is what really got me. Because I like seeing people happy.
Sure.
Kind of a good thing about this business, I think, is what you get with it. You know, making other people feel good about themselves and happy, and, you know, just feeling like, you know, maybe they haven't felt in years, you know, and even if it's just a one-day thing and a one-time thing,
yeah,
that stuff I always keep with me, for sure.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, here with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. I've got a very special guest here with me, 𝐿𝐿𝐵𝐷 with Ravishing Luxe. Alexandria, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, let's kind of tell me about this, right? I'm learning here for the first time. Tell me about Ravishing Luxe. Where did the idea of starting your business come from?
Well, I mean, honestly, I've always just kind of had like a thing for makeup. Like growing up, my mother was in pageants, you know, things like that. I always had a infatuation with, you know, how people do it, more or less, not so much as like the aesthetic of it, but kind of like, you know, interested by how did they actually make that happen? Like, how did they do that? I always been kind of artsy, always really liked to draw and paint, you know, things like that since I was a kid. And I used to watch Star Trek with my dad, the old Star Trek. Yeah. From the 50s, and just the makeup itself to me was just always just amazing. Like that, I think that's part of it too, my obsession with that. And growing up, always tried to, you know, mimic, and whatever I saw I liked, I would literally go to Walmart and try to buy similar colors and try to do that. High school was fun. We had early 90s, like 2000s. Yeah. You know, early 2000s. It was always fun with makeup, you know, so friends always wanted me to do their makeup, and just something I've always really been into, I guess. Yeah? Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So when did you decide to go out on your own?
Well, it was 2019. I started officially in March. I kind of took everything that I had and kind of put into it, investing into it. Yeah. I had lost my youngest brother, who was 18 at the time, to a work accident, and I kind of went into, you know, a bad place, sadness, depression, you know, because I was the oldest sibling. Well, second oldest of 7 kids. Him being the baby, that was really hard. And then 3 months later, we lost my father before Christmas. So,
oh my goodness.
Just all random things were just kind of, you know, grieving. A lot was going on at that time. And one day I just kind of woke up and was like, how do I get out of this? How do I make myself feel better? And, you know, what would my dad want me to do? And, my dad always enjoyed my hair, my makeup, my tattoos. Always thought it was really cool and was always proud of me. And something I do enjoy doing. It's like a happy place for me. Sure. And it just kind of came natural. And I was like, well, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And there's no looking back. So. No,
and I mean, unfortunately, it started from a place of grieving, but it has been able to become a sustainable business for you. And like you said, I mean, it's your happy place. I think if you can do that in whatever business it is, I think that's a fantastic opportunity for anybody. So, so I know we were talking off camera. You do a wide array of services around the makeup world, from bridal parties to quinceañeras, whatever that is. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you're able to offer at Ravishing?
Basically, makeup for just about everything. I do tend to do Halloween's kind of a big thing, because I can do, like, you know, face painting, aesthetics, you know, stuff like that. That's always a lot of fun, because you really get to kind of go all out. There's really no rules. It's kind of no holds barred kind of thing, so that's always fun. But yeah, like anything, like photography, military balls, I do a lot of those. But like I said, photography, that could be anything from, you know, engagement pictures to elopements to graduation pictures. I've done that before. Boudoir is a really popular thing for women, and, you know, it's very empowering too. So that's always a lot of fun to do that. Yeah. And, you know, like family photos, kind of anything really. I've done it for like people going to like Met Galas, award ceremonies. That's also another big one. Yeah. not just the birthdays, like you said, like quinceañeras, but social events. I've had people who had wedding anniversaries who were going to go out to nice dinner and they wanted to look nice. And birthdays, had one girl do it. Like I said before, she wanted to look good for her 21st birthday and her new driver's license. So that was a lot of fun doing that, and she really enjoyed it. So yeah, I mean, pretty much any reason you can think of to get makeup done, like I've pretty much done it all. I've even done ladies' makeup once, and when I first started for christening, she wanted to look good for the pictures, I guess. So that could be photography, but she was like, well, christening my daughter, and she wanted to look really good. So I thought that was kind of neat because I got to be a part of something kind of cool.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So with you being a traveling makeup artist and what that, is there certain sort of how do I say this, restrictions that you put on, like kind of how far you'll go? No. Or is it kind of?
No, I travel up in Missouri quite a bit, also in like Northeast Kansas. I've traveled literally all over Kansas.
Yeah.
I've also branched out quite a bit into a lot of on the other Kansas City side, like Kansas City, Missouri, Lee Summit area. Small towns around there because they don't have a lot of options for makeup artistry.
Probably true, yeah.
So that's always nice because I like traveling. I like being in the car, get my me time, jam out, get myself, pumped up and ready to work. And plus, I realized how beautiful Kansas and Missouri really is. When I started traveling more, the Flint Hills especially, like I don't think there's a time where I get up to travel in the morning and I just think, my God, it's just beautiful. Like. Yeah. It's amazing. The travel part, I do actually enjoy. Yeah. I'll go any distance. Like, there's no limits.
Road warrior here.
Right.
Huh? Yeah. I love it. I love that. Alexandra, talk to us a little bit about kind of the full process, right? So if somebody watching this video is like, oh my gosh, I would love to have her come do my makeup and whatever that is. So let's talk about from that first reach out, the consultation phase, to finished makeup, ready to roll and ready for whatever event that they want it done. What does that process and experience look like for your clients?
Well, basically, once we get to the booking process, everything's booked and done. Generally, just kind of asking, what their desires are, what they prefer makeup-wise. Do they wear much makeup? Or are they just a lipstick or chapstick type girl with mascara? Mm-hmm. Or do they are they pretty comfortable with makeup? Are they uncomfortable? And then, we kind of discuss skin issues, any concerns that they have to kind of address that.
Sure.
And then, kind of looking over, their ideal, makeup looks, such as using Pinterest and things like that. But I'm also very realistic, letting them know hey, you said you don't wear much makeup, you never wear makeup. But, these images are very full on glam and you want light makeup and, so always being realistic with the client helps them to also understand better, so it kind of clicks in their head a little bit, because 9 times out of 10 when you do the trial, a bridal trial, which is where you do the makeup first and then they get to kind of see what it looks like on, usually reality hits. And I always talk to them first about that, you may or may not like it, because it is more than what you're used to. And then, so it clicks. I'm always just very honest, very open. Yeah. Communication is also a very big thing when it comes to talking with your clients and making them feel comfortable with you and what you're doing, and also making sure that they're comfortable and happy, and that the look actually fits them. Because most of the time people still want to actually look like themselves, which I totally get that. Yeah. I always tell them, less is more, and that's 100% the truth with makeup. So. But it will be more, obviously, because you want to show on camera too. That's a big factor, making sure it shows up on camera. So, keeping in communication, answering all questions they have, trying to help them the best that I can. Whether it's finding vendors that I might know, or if they're having trouble with acne, or if they're worried about their skin being dry, I might have some ideas to give them on how to fix that, so that way the makeup looks really good on the day of. So a lot of communication, a lot of talking back and forth. I think, we spend so much time getting to know each other and talking and responding and making sure they're taken care of, because especially when it comes to brides, it's stressful, there's a lot going on, and I always want to make sure that I'm assisting in any way that I can to make them feel better about what's going on, because it's a lot to deal with. So
so what is that how long, like let's say, for example, a bride. I would imagine you probably have a longer timeline for that one, but should they reach out like a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, a year? Like what time should they be kind of reaching out to you? One, to employ you on the day of, and then two, to kind of have a ballpark idea of what they're kind of wanting. What does that timeline typically look like?
Well, typically makeup and hair go pretty quick. I know, venues is like top priority. They want to find the venue first.
Sure.
But definitely I always recommend to clients, booking as soon as you know that there's somebody that you want to book, like you book them, because there's brides that will book 2 years in advance. I've done that before where I've had brides booked for 1.5 years to 2 years. So some people like that longer engagement process because they have more time to pay things off and
sure,
take care of stuff. And but yeah, sometimes, like I said, it's especially when you have like the holidays where a lot of people get engaged and things like that. So it's kind of important to make sure that you're booking everybody that you want as quickly as possible.
Sure.
So that's definitely a big deal. And I always tell clients, anytime they have a question, just reach out. I'm always going to respond back. I definitely feel like it's really important to make sure that I'm responding in a timely manner and helping them, and because like I said, that can cause stress on them. Like, why isn't she responding? And what's going on? Like, people freak out. You see things in the industry where people, unfortunately get scammed or something like that. And I always want my clients to feel as comfortable as possible with me, because that's really a big thing. And like I said, I want to help ease some of that stress that they have to deal with. So
you don't want to be the stressor.
No, I want to be the opposite.
Right.
100%. So
no, that makes sense. Makes sense. So I guess this is a good time to ask it. So what is a good way for anybody watching this? What's a good way for someone to get a hold of you? Facebook, email, phone? What are those avenues for them?
Definitely Facebook. I have my business attached, and my emails are set up that way, so I get notifications every time, and I'm usually on it pretty quick. I think I get a lot of compliments about that, but it's just because I cannot not answer people. Like, even if it's just a question they're already booked, like, I'm not going to ignore you because you already booked me. Like, you're what keeps me in business, and to me that is such a big thing. And like I said, the stress thing, so I want to make sure that things go as smoothly as possible, and at least on my end for what we're doing.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm always happy to assist them, and communication, like I said, it's a big thing.
What's your Facebook handle?
Ravishing Luxe, spelled, it's R-A-V as in Victor, I-S-H-I-N-G, and then Luxe is L-U-X-E. So you can find me anywhere. It's on Google too. I do have a Google account.
Perfect. Okay. So I want to talk, it's kind of the same deal. I want to kind of go through what has been one of the most memorable moments in your career that you've been like, okay, I made a difference there, right? What does that moment look like, and what is that story, if you tell us that?
Well, there was a young lady. I did her makeup kind of last minute in 𝐜𝐨𝐬𝐫. I want to say this is maybe about three years ago. She had a rough life with, a lot of, she had, like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think she had, like, some type of disease that was, like, really debilitating, and it caused her to gain a lot of weight. She wasn't, she never really felt good about herself, and she was getting pictures done, and the lady had kind of gave me a little bit of a backstory just to make sure, like, I was prepared for her in that type of way, like, since being sensitive and things like that, which is a big thing. So
sure.
I was very gentle with her. We talked. I let her talk about things if she felt like she wanted to. She was pretty open. She was a very sweet girl. And when I was done with the makeup, like, when she turned around, she just started bawling. Of course, I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, oh my God, she's crying. Like, oh my God. But she was just so happy. She was like, she was like, thank you. I feel beautiful. And she's like, this is the best I've ever felt. And she's gone through surgeries and had so many issues, and to be able to help somebody feel that way, it was good. Like, I remember I was like on cloud 9 for almost a week after that, because it felt amazing to know that one person, I could do that one small thing, and she felt really good and about herself, and she was ready to go take those pictures. Like, she was ready to rock and roll. I mean, you could just see it on her face, and the tears of happiness, I think, is what really got me. Because I like seeing people happy.
Sure.
It's kind of a good thing about this business, I think, is what you get with it. Making other people feel good about themselves and happy, and just feeling like maybe they haven't felt in years. And even if it's just a one-day thing and a one-time thing, that's stuff I always keep with me for sure every time.
Well, I think it's part of the, we all have our self-image, right? I think we all have our own self-image, good or bad, or inflated or deflated, right? I think it's being able to kind of help somebody that in that scenario, right, where you don't have that, she maybe doesn't have the ability or know how to do that. So I think that's awesome. I love that. That's a good story. I like that.
Yeah, it was good. That one always stuck with me. I think about that one often. So
that's awesome. Part of what we do, right, as business owners in general, we collaborate with a lot of local professionals, local businesses, local things there. How has that been, one, an integral part, and how have you been able to kind of elaborate, or how have you been able to kind of bring that into your business to be able to help people throughout that way?
I'm getting to know other vendors and things like that, like working with 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐠𝐞𝐭, with the Manhattan, or the Complete Events, that's what it is, the Complete Events, which is really awesome. They're a good company, and I love recommending clients to them. Knowing a lot of really amazing hairstylists, knowing photographers, videographers, knowing some really awesome venues, people that own them, things like that. And I think that really kind of helps when you know more people, because I'm sometimes, unless they don't ask, I just say, hey, if you need, a vendor or information on anything, like, I got you. Like, I know these, and these people, florists, all kinds of stuff, DJs, you name it. So.
That's awesome.
And that's the cool thing, because it all keeps us like in a good circle, and it really helps each other out, business-wise. And I feel like that's a big part of it too. Like being able to refer other people and help keep their business going, and people get to enjoy their services too.
Well, I mean, what's the saying? Your net worth is your network. So I love that. That's and being able to help other people grow. I mean, I think that's kind
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, rising tide raises all ships. So it'll be good there. So
absolutely.
So Alexandria, I've got a couple more questions before we kind of wrap up. But I want to. What does the future look like for Ravishing Luxe? What does moving forward, you've been in business now for what, a little over 5 years, or close to 5 years now?
It'll be 6 years, I think, in March, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, awesome. So what does the future look like for Ravishing Luxe?
I'm just going to keep going.
I'm
going to keep booking. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep accommodating brides and anybody that, needs my service for whatever purpose, and just keep going and growing as far as that goes, and travel. I want to expand even further outward. I always thought that would be kind of cool, like to travel into other states, or things like that, or go on the destination weddings. Just take me with you. Hey, just pay for the room. We're good. You know what I mean? Type thing. But I mean, I'm just gonna keep going. Just keep going and keep booking and keep working.
I love it. So one thing that I always ask this question. You've been in business now, March will be 6 years. What has been one of the, what is one piece of advice? I get a lot of people that watch these videos, they are entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs or things that way. What is one piece of advice for those people looking to get into business? Again, whether it be makeup or mowing lawns or whatever it is, just as an entrepreneur in general, what's one piece of advice you'd like to give?
Take that dive.
Take
the dive. Go for it. I mean, granted, things happen differently in my situation.
Sure.
But, I also think to myself, man, I probably should have started doing this years ago, because I almost did. But, fear held me back. You got to push through the fear of, well, what if it doesn't work? The best thing you can do is just take that dive into the ocean and just, explore and, really work on getting yourself out there, getting, people interested, posting, talking. Word of mouth is still a really big thing too. It's still a big thing, referrals, recommendations, flyers are still a thing. You know, starting out with hosting certain things or getting in contact with like maybe other people to kind of be like, hey, can you help me promote this? Like exchange work for each other, you know, like if I do this for you, you know, we can exchange, you know, services.
Sure.
That's another good option too. But yeah, definitely just taking that dive, that leap of faith and just doing it. Yeah. And here I am, you know, I never thought this would be where I would be, you know, at almost 39, but I'm glad I did. I mean, I wouldn't take it back for anything. No, I love it. I love it. There's not a morning that I wake up when I have to do a job, whether I have to be up at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. or whatever, that I think, I don't want to go, you know, because I've done that with jobs, but sure. I always wake up just like pumped up, ready to go, and the excitement and just seeing what I can create and what they love and just being a part of something so good.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny, that is a very common theme. It's a very common theme with people that I have on here, that's always take the leap. Take the leap, just start, get it going. I mean, you'll figure it out on the way down, so.
Right.
No, I love it. Before we kind of wrap it up, is there anything else you'd like to add to the video for anybody watching this anything you'd like to add to the video, I guess, at that point?
Be kind.
Okay.
Be kind to everybody. Be kind to people. Say your prayers every night. Thank God for what you have and instead of what you don't have. You know, always appreciate the small things. Keep, you know, your loved ones close, and always wake up every day. Just do your best. Be 100%. And I think that's probably some pretty good advice. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the only I can think of to say.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, but to me, I feel like maybe that's just a nice thing to say, like, because it's something I think people forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know times are tough and things get hard for people and things happen a lot in our daily lives, and you know, sometimes we lose sight of, you know, what's really in front of us, which is the fact that we're alive, we're healthy, we're living, we're, you know, doing our thing. And you know, I think too often we kind of forget to be grateful for what we do have. You know, life is a great thing, whether it's good or bad. Things happen, but life is good.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, and I just want to say again, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on to kind of share your story a little bit with me, and with everybody watching too. So just a reminder, go reach out to her via Facebook, Ravishing Luxe, Luxe, on Facebook. Reach out to them, reach out to her to kind of talk about just starting the process, right? If you're looking for a makeup artist, maybe it's bridal party or quinceañera or birthday parties, whatever that event is that you're looking for, please reach out. You can see it, right? Like I can see it in your face today. I mean, just you care, right? And I think that's the back to what you're, yeah. And I think that's back to part of it though, right? As a business owner, I think you have to care, and I think, and I feel that. I feel your care coming for your clients and stuff that way. And so I think anybody watching this, number one, just reach out. Right, reach out, talk to her, start the process, see what that looks like, and yeah, I appreciate you coming on today. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you do enjoy this content and you haven't done so already, please go and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content. And please, please, please share this video with somebody that is interested in having makeup done or whatever event that they're looking for. Share this video so you can understand a little bit more about who Alexandria is and the face behind the name of Ravishing Luxe, and reach out. Just start that process and kind of go through that one. So. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until next week, I appreciate you watching, and thank you, Alexandra, for joining me today. And until next week, this is Local Legends of the Flint Hills. Thank you very much. We'll see you then.